Welcome to T-Rex Reads. I am Becky.
I'm Lauren.
I'm Lindy.
And today we are going to do the Jennifer Lawrence book tag. Your music. Because we are that fancy. We finally got some. So we are going to do the version of this tag that was done by Tashapolis. I'll leave a link to her questions as well as a link to the original tag down below, just because hers was the first one I watched, so I just pulled her questions. So, question number 1. Swearing off social media. What is a book or a series that you refuse to read?
For me, it's The Throne of Glass. I've heard bad reviews. The way people have described it, it just doesn't sound like something I would personally enjoy. And I sort of want to hate it because everyone loves it.
I think that's part of why I liked The Cursed Child, was because everybody was so hateful on it, and I was like, you're not going to ruin this for me. I'm prepared to love it.
Anything by Garth Nix. I have heard that his books are really good, and I'm sure they are, but he was really kind of rude about J.K. Rowling, and he did it in order to sell his own books, so I'm not on board with that, so I'm not going to read any of his stuff.
Mine is Pretty Little Liars, because the whole idea, that and Gossip Girl, because I feel like they're kind of on the same level. And granted, I'm totally judging a book by both their covers and their titles and their TV shows. And plus, both series go on for flippin' ever. Seriously, I know Pretty Little Liars has 6 or 8 books to it. Gossip Girl has 23 or something. I don't even know. Gossip Girl, the whole premise was supposed to be finding out who the secret person is online that knows everybody's business.
Isn't that Pretty Little Liars?
Well, I think it's the same thing in both of them, honestly. And they find out who it is, and they both keep going with the series because it's making money. How do you keep going? We already know who the person is. Oscar trip. We all remember Jennifer Lawrence's, lovely trip up the stairs at the Oscars. Name a book or a series that hit a snag.
The Inheritance Cycle starts with Aragon. It's by Christopher Paolini. Only because he took extra time and ended up having to add a book because he didn't quite have everything worked out that should have been worked out, which, sometimes happens when you're writing things.
I'm doing The Taking by Kimberly Durting. So the premise was really good for me. She disappears, reappears 5 years later. She's the exact same age. Dad's gone nuts. He thinks she's been abducted by aliens. Mom and Dad got a divorce. Her boyfriend and best friend are now 5 years older and have moved on with each other. Cindy was really weirded out by the relationship that starts with her, with the main character and the boyfriend's little brother, who's now her age. Which, that wasn't even what weirded me out. What bothered me was, for her, no time has passed. And she real quick is bam, I'm over this. She's really quickly over the fact that her best friend and boyfriend have moved on together. And really quickly moving in to, having feelings for this boy. At the end of the book, it's I would die for Riley scenario. They're running away together. And
the Lockwood & Company series, I think that's what it's called, by Jonathan Stroud. I read the first 2 books and I really loved them. And then it took a while for the 3rd book to come out. And then I just couldn't start reading the 3rd book because I read reviews online that there was this new character added in. And I just didn't like the new character.
She cheats and reads spoilers. That's what happens.
Page of the book every single time. Unless
That's
it's
wrong.
a book that I like anticipating all year, then I want to not be spoiled. I won't read the ending of the new Percy Jackson book.
Question number 3 is viral photobomb. Where was it? At the Oscars? At the Golden Globes. Name a book or a series that you didn't know would get as popular. And I'm going with Percy Jackson just because, when I read it, when we started it, the 5th book had already released. So I knew that it was popular enough to, have 5 books. But, you would not think that those characters would still be going in books at this point. I would have thought that the movies would have been made better so that they could be, it could be the next Harry Potter thing. But no, they weren't made better.
It was the Legend trilogy. I read the 1st book and I enjoyed it, but I didn't think that it was going to turn into a 3-book series everyone was obsessed with for a little while.
So mine would actually be Hunger Games, and I think it was vaulted to ultimate fandom by Harry Potter and Twilight, and it was the next big thing. I mean, it's outstanding, but I just didn't really think, it's
Well, I mean, it would have been hard, especially after seeing the Percy Jackson movies, it would have been hard to predict that the movies would have been done that well.
And I think just because of the subject matter, teenagers getting in an arena and killing each other is sort of, it's sort of,
or disturbing. It depends on who you are. Okay, Jennifer Lawrence's work with David O. Russell. Name a dysfunctional character that you can't help but love.
Well, every character in The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater is dysfunctional in some way, shape, or form, and you can't help but love all of them because they're so quirky.
Well, mine would be Calvin Schwa in The Schwa Was Here. He's so, like, he's practically invisible. Before the book, he never knew that he wanted to be noticed. He thought that was, like, the way he needed to be.
So I went with Katniss because she's kind of the definition, at least especially by the end. Really, anything past book 1, she's like the definition of dysfunctional. Suzanne Collins allowed her to like suffer from PTSD and not be able to function as a regular person. In book 3, when the lizard monsters are coming and she's like, I smell roses. Mystique. Name a character who's a villain who thinks what they are doing is correct.
Mine would be John Hobbs from The Diviners. He is super creepy. He was part of like a cult, like a doomsday cult kind of thing. He ends up being like killing all these people because he thinks it's gonna usher in the apocalypse.
I went with Mary Hightower from Everlost. It's about a bunch of kids that have died. They're like stuck in limbo basically. She has written like books upon books upon books to educate those around her on how best to survive in Everlost. By the end, she's willing to destroy the world so that they can get as many children as possible to cross into Everlost and live there because this is paradise and this is where they should be.
Spoilers for the Archive series by Victoria Schwab. This character is Owen, and he totally thinks what he's doing is right, and you don't know he's the bad guy at first, but...
Lindy's facial expressions. Okay, Bradley Cooper, name an author that you find yourself keep coming back to and repeating over and over again, and that's Neil Shusterman for me, which is not surprising to anybody in this room.
Sarah Addison Allen. She's my favorite author for adults. One of the few authors I read who writes for adults. Anytime she has a new book out, I get it on pre-order. It comes like the day it's out.
Look at Anne appeared! Anne, what author do you always find yourself coming back to?
Sherilyn Kenyon. Like, I do it every time. I'm like, I'm not doing this another book by this author, and then I do, and it's...
Her arguments with herself online are always like, I'm not going to read this new Sherilyn Kenyon book. I'm so done with her. And then it's like, why did I start reading this Sherilyn Kenyon book before bedtime? Oh, Sherilyn Kenyon, you're making me so mad. Now I'm up till 4 a.m. finishing Sherilyn Kenyon.
Yep.
Mine is Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I like this new political sort of thriller vibe that she has going on in her new books, and I will always read those.
So, number 7 is Spoiled for Homeland on national television. Name a book or a series that you were spoiled for. So I got 2 really quick ones. One was Harry Potter. I had barely started the series because I started by watching the movies. Like, I didn't grow up reading these. They came out, like, well after I was a child. I was on, like, book 3. And Crystal, who I bought this house from, hi Crystal, if you happen to watch her videos. Like, she's finished book 7 at this point, and is like, well, you knew Ron and Hermione were gonna get married, and I was like, I didn't! I hadn't read that in there yet. And then in book 5, and I was like, I haven't read that! I was like, alright, I'm gonna plow through the rest of the series and finish it as quickly as possible, because Crystal doesn't know how to keep her mouth shut and not spoil me on things. Because I know at least 2 or 3 other people that were like, Crystal ruined this part of Harry Potter for me. Love Crystal. The one is Allegiant, and I read the first 2 right before the 3rd one released. The response online was either, I wept for days, or like, I'm so mad I threw my book across the room, I'm selling my series, and I was like, alright, well either blank dies or the other blank dies.
That was mine.
that was yours too.
Yeah. Look, I saw it on Pinterest, okay? Like, all I see is, like, the corner of a room and Allegiant sitting in the corner and be like, you sit in the corner and think about what you've done.
Yeah.
As soon as I opened the book and realized that it was in
Dual perspective,
I was like, and somebody dies.
I think everyone has the same exact answer for the next question.
Name your favorite high-profile series. Did everybody put Harry Potter?
Yes.
We all put Harry Potter. Next. We all know that we would love if Jennifer Lawrence was our bestest best friend, or at least we could, like, hang out with her occasionally. So which book character would you pick to be your bestest friend? Lindy.
Annabeth from the Percy Jackson series.
No way.
No way. You know, because
She's like a shocker.
She's like a less whiny version of Hermione. Like a less bossy,
Less
naggy.
bossy.
Yes,
Less naggy.
bossy. Yeah.
You know who Hermione is? She's the book reader that sits in the movie and like
What?
through the entire movie is like, that's not how it was in the book.
That's not how it
That's
was.
not in the book. And you're like, can
They
I just
changed that.
watch the movie and you can tell me later?
No,
That's
we won't.
me.
Yeah, that's totally me. Because of Anne's recommendation, I read or listened to Jenny Lawson's Furiously Happy it's her second book, but it's the first one I listened to. And I'm almost to the end of Let's Pretend This Never Happened.
We'll preface this, they're not children's books.
No,
These
they're
are young
not.
adult.
There's a lot of really inappropriate stuff in there.
So my favorite character that I wish would be my friend is Magnus Bane.
That would be entertaining.
I really would like to be that guy's friend.
I picked Ginny. Like, Ginny seems pretty chill. Like, she's kind of a tomboy. I can get down with that. Like, she really likes, she's into sports and stuff. And, like, I'm not super into sports, but I'm into sports enough.
You're into
And-
Quidditch.
Right? Like, and I'm not, like, she's not as bossy as Hermione. Like, I'm pretty
Yep.
sure if I knew
Back to that
anything
point.
more than Hermione knew, like, she'd have a real issue with it. So, and Ginny seems really patient, which is good for me. Well, I mean, like, she knows how to deal with all of her brothers. She puts up with Hermione all the time when she's being bossy. I refuse to believe that Hermione's only bossy with the boys.
Nah.
She's clearly got to be
True.
bossy with her as well. So, okay, our last question goes with everything Jennifer Lawrence has ever said. All the funny things Jennifer Lawrence said. Who's your favorite snarky character?
Harry Potter. He's completely snarky throughout
He
the
is
whole series.
really
They cut him out
snarky.
in the movies. They cut out the scenes in the movies where Harry Potter is funny.
Yeah, they cut out a lot of his stuff.
Except for the third movie when he was like, I am the chosen one.
That was the sixth movie.
Is it?
See,
No,
this
it's the fourth.
No, it's Goblet of Fire.
It's the sixth.
It's
I
the
was
sixth
thinking
movie.
of
Yeah,
'Cause
when
he's
they're
trying
talking
to
about Choche.
No, when they're talking about Romilda Vane, who's
Oh,
trying to get
yes.
a love potion,
I was
sneak
thinking
into
it was
him,
the
and they're
Yule
trying to
Ball,
go.
but
No,
it's
they're trying to go to
yep.
the Slug Club Christmas
That's
party.
right.
Don't question my Harry Potter.
That down.
This is why Hermione and I probably should not be friends.
My favorite snarky character is Bartimaeus from the Bartimaeus trilogy which now has a fourth book, which makes it not a trilogy, but whatever. The books are filled with footnotes from his perspective, and they are hilarious and completely snarky.
My favorite, though, is still Magnus Bane.
Going with Lydia from the Bad Girls Don't Die series. Lydia in the last book. I don't want to spoil anything because of book 2, but I'll link my reviews for them down below. She ends up getting forced basically to hang out with the main character and their ex-best friends after she's just had like a really embarrassing fight with her boyfriend. And she'll hop in the car and she'll be like, that was really bad. You shouldn't have said that. So those are our answers for the tag. Let us know what your answers are down below, or just, talk about Jennifer Lawrence because she's awesome. We will see you next time. Bye! Let me double check real quick and make sure we're recording. Okay, good, we're recording. All of this is getting cut. Hey, hello, and welcome to TRX Reads. Blah, blah, blah. I said that weird.
Character I'd love to switch.
We're not talking about my gastrointestinal issues, even in the bloopers. If I burp on you, I apologize.
I hitch up my drawers.
Don't say stuff like that on camera where she can record it.
They're like words that are supposed to come out here. It's just like not
We're
happening.
all super awake today.
Yeah.
And Lauren's a pacifist.
Yes! Do-do-do-do.
The bronze key comes out. I pre-ordered it. I'm gonna read it the day it comes out.
The bronze key.
And the Iron Trial.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
August
How many?
30th.
Okay.
I don't know. You should maybe go on our blog and read the coming soon
No,
for
I
the
knew.
month.
Serious meds.
We're cutting that part. Except for this. We're just going to leave this.
Thanks for that.
In the Lauren. Just take forever.
We do it too. Okay, you can't do it with music. Like seriously, I can't.